Malik Johnson was a 22-year-old college student in Georgia. He was studying computer engineering and had just finished a tough semester. That night, he was heading home after visiting his mother, who had cooked his favorite meal, fried chicken, and mac and cheese, to celebrate his passing all his exams. It was a quiet evening, and Malik was driving his brand-new 2018 black Honda Civic, a gift from his mom and uncles who had saved for years to get him a reliable car. Malik wasn't speeding. He wasn't breaking any traffic rules. He had his seatbelt on and was listening to soft music, smiling to himself about how proud his mom looked when he surprised her earlier. But as he crossed into the next town, a neighborhood mostly known for being rich and predominantly white, he noticed flashing lights in his rearview mirror. A sheriff's car was tailing him aggressively. He slowed down and pulled over, confused. His heart began to race. The officer stepped out. He was a tall white man in his late 40s, Deputy Mark Holloway. His boots slammed against the pavement with every step. He approached Malik's window, looked inside with suspicion and said, "License and registration." Malik politely handed over his documents and asked, "Sir, may I know what I did wrong?" The officer didn't answer directly. He replied, "Your taillight's broken." Malik frowned. That couldn't be right. He had just had it checked. "I think it's working, officer," he said calmly. That's when the mood changed. The officer's face hardened. He looked Malik up and down, scanned the car's interior, and said coldly, "Step out of the vehicle." Malik's heart sank. He was alone. It was dark. And he'd heard enough stories like this to know things could go bad. Fast. But he also knew resisting would only make things worse. He stepped out with his hands visible. The officer began questioning him. "What are you doing in this neighborhood? Is this car really yours? Where are you coming from?" Malik answered every question politely, but it didn't matter. The officer ordered him to stand by the car while he began searching it, without consent, without a warrant, and without cause. Malik asked gently, "Sir, do you have a warrant to search my vehicle?" Deputy Holloway turned, leaned into Malik's face and said, "People like you don't need to ask questions. You people always have something to hide." Malik froze. That phrase, "you people," it stung harder than the cold air. It wasn't about a taillight. It never was. This was about the color of his skin. Then the officer grabbed Malik's arm, twisted it behind his back, and shoved him onto the hood. Malik cried out, "I haven't done anything wrong." But it didn't matter. He was handcuffed like a criminal. What the officer didn't realize was that Malik had, out of fear, turned on the voice recording feature on his phone when he saw the police lights. The phone in his jacket pocket was capturing everything. Every word, every insult, every racist slur. Even more powerful. Across the street in an upstairs apartment, a young white woman named Jessica had been watching. She had seen the entire interaction unfold and felt sick to her stomach. She pulled out her phone and began recording. She filmed the officer handcuffing Malik, pushing him down, and using language no trained officer should ever use. The next day, she uploaded the video to TikTok and it exploded online. Within hours, it hit 2 million views. Within a day, 10 million. The hashtag #JusticeForMalik began trending worldwide. People were outraged. Celebrities, activists, and even local news stations picked up the story. Malik, after being released with no charges, shared his own audio recording to match Jessica's video. The proof was undeniable. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a clear case of racial profiling and abuse of power. But here's where the story took another dark turn. When journalists and lawyers began digging into Deputy Holloway's history, they discovered something shocking. He had 17 previous complaints, all involving young black or Hispanic men, but none of them were ever investigated seriously. Internal Affairs had buried the reports. He had faced zero consequences. This time, public pressure forced the department's hand. Holloway was suspended without pay. Protesters gathered outside the sheriff's office. National news covered the story. People demanded accountability. But even with all the evidence, the video, the audio, the history, no criminal charges were filed. The department claimed there wasn't sufficient grounds for criminal prosecution. It was a slap in the face to Malik, to his family, to everyone who had ever faced the same fear. But Malik didn't give up. He filed a civil lawsuit for unlawful detention, racial profiling, and emotional trauma. After a long and painful court battle, he won. He was awarded $850,000 in damages. But when asked by a reporter what he planned to do with the money, Malik said something unforgettable. "No amount of money will give me back that night. I was humiliated. I was scared I wouldn't make it home. All I ever wanted was to live in a country where my skin isn't treated like a weapon." Malik used a portion of that money to create a non-profit organization to provide legal aid to victims of police abuse. His story is now taught in law classes and criminal justice ethics courses, and the video, Jessica's clip, is still online. A painful reminder, a powerful truth. If this story moved you, if it made you angry, if it made you think, then don't stay silent. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more real stories that expose injustice and give voice to the unheard. And comment below. Do you think Deputy Holloway should have gone to jail? Why or why not? Your voice matters. Your views matter. Together, we can make sure stories like Malik's are never forgotten.